Kristen with Nerdut's Newsstand, and I missed a few reviews on Superman and Lois. Now, I am going to go over them in this video. We're going to talk about episode 3, 4, and 5, and then when the show returns on May 18th, I will continue the reviews. But there's a few things I want to say about this series as a whole before I even get into it, and that is the fact that it does feel like, finally, somebody understands the fundamentals of Superman. They understand his character inside and out. They understand what he represents, who he represents, and how he does good in the world while managing having a family, while managing having 2 sons, and a position in the community to look and be inspirational for. We see not only saves coming from Superman, but we see it coming from Clark. And I really enjoy that. Now, I do think I know personally what the difference is, and I think that is Geoff Johns' involvement. Now, I can't obviously be sure, but pretty much everything Geoff Johns does is really well developed, whether it is straight from the comics like we've seen pretty close with Stargirl, or it is something that spins off and dips into even the golden age, which is this show. Everything Geoff Johns touches, in my opinion, turns out very, very good. He also understands now, even almost more than Superman, this Lois Lane is the personification of her off of that comic book. And I really enjoy the hard-hitting, never back down, I am a badass, with or without Clark, Lois Lane. And she does a great job of showing that. I know I'm saying a lot of good about this show. I have very few critiques, but that is simply because it's something, if you enjoy Superman, you should be checking it out. It's that good. Yes, it comes from the CW, but it is nothing, and I mean nothing, like a typical CW show. And I'm really excited to see where it goes, what happens with it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So let's talk a little bit about the episodes individuals, and then we'll theorize a little bit. I'm not going to go over every plot point, right? Because we're going over a couple here, but when we return back in May, we'll definitely go over it a little bit more individually and Easter eggs and all that fun stuff. Let's just talk the big points here. Now, in episode 3, we had this amazing bridge scene where Superman is painting with his family, and he goes in, here's a bridge, and all the way in China, a real bridge, and goes and saves people. It's such an amazing scene. It's such an amazing point just to see him being a hero and a father and a lover. It's amazing. So we also see Clark, though, make one huge mistake. And I would say I understand both sides, but he oversteps in his boys' life by listening to them at school. Now, we don't know where it would have went had he not listened to them, but it is an overstep of privacy, and it's definitely something that can't be done in order to maintain boundaries. You just can't. So we do see Jordan join football, and that's another really great fundamental part of this show. It is the boys. Yes, there's a little bit of teen drama in there. Not too much. It's not heavy on that at all. But what is there is both of the boys having each other's back, whether it's Jonathan or Jordan. That brotherly relationship is awesome to see unfold. I really do like it. So we also see a really good scene with a fight with Superman in this just ginormous mess of a man who's basically unstoppable and trying to kill Lois, and also trying to kill a lady that's giving Lois a scoop. Now, Clark is able to stop him. The whole time I'm yelling, freeze him! What's wrong with you? Freeze him! And he eventually did. And we see kind of the more introduction of more metahumans or Kryptonian-esque humans. And that's going to keep happening. We also see Clark become the assistant coach so that Jordan and Jonathan can both play football. And I think it was a really good decision to stay by the sidelines, but still give them their personal freedoms, especially when you don't quite understand the lengths of Jordan's powers. But you do see in real time him becoming a more developed person because he has friends, and that's really important. So this also introduces us into a very important character, and that's Lesla Lar. I believe they call her Leslie in this. She is an old Supergirl villain from the Golden Age. She has been around for forever, and her being in here is really cool. I knew it was right away, oddly enough, and oh, that's sad. Anyways, I like that they're including her. She is a big part of the Morgan Edge side of things, and she's, basically all you have to do is picture evil Supergirl, right? So that leads us into episode 4. And General Lane actually is becoming a bit of a problem in my eyes, but he finds out about Jordan's powers, and he's not happy that A, he didn't know, and B, that Jordan has powers at all. He wants basically to know everything. He is their past interference when it comes to the military, because the military is terrified of Clark, right? Rightfully so. But in that moment where they're having a little bit of an argument, I do love that they reference Intergang. I know it's something very small, but Intergang is some of my favorite villains, and the fact that they included them is really cool. So I love seeing the great relationship with the boys more unfold every single episode. We see Morgan Edge get really creepy with Lana, like uncomfortably close and talking about how special she is. Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to try to use her in different ways. Not that way, perverts. Anyway, so we see a character named Tag, and he was at the party in the first episode where we saw Jonathan use his powers the first time. Now he starts this weird glitching. He starts shaking profusely, right? And it's similar to what we saw in an episode of Smallville, which was really cool, kind of paying homage to that, right? And we see that beginning of something that is going on with him. Now, Lois is such a badass. She follows Morgan Edge, and she, basically gets him on his terms, does it, when he's not expecting it. And she's just like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to figure out what's going on. I love it. So we see General Lane, again, overstep his boundaries, telling Jordan and Jonathan, basically, anytime that you are with your father or wasting your small little son problems on him, he's not able to save the world. He's a superhero. Don't bother him. It was really, really shitty. It should have never been said. So we also see Lois kind of feel like she was pushed to the side because Clark had an emergency, and of course he had to be there. Now, I love this because we see then Clark get romantic with it. Even though he gets pulled away, we do see Clark making Lois a priority. I really like that. General Lane starts this contingency plan towards the end. It's called 7734 or Hell, if you flip it upside down. And he's starting to see the side of Superman, or wonder if that side is there, that General Luthor told him about. So we'll have to wait for more of that. My only problem with that is, we just went through the last episode where Clark listened to his sons. Why would he not hear this contingency in place? But even so, we get a big reveal, and that is yellow kryptonite or X-kryptonite harvesting being done by Morgan Edge and Leslie. And they are going to use this, and we see them use this when we talk about this next episode, to make a normal person, or quite possibly, I'm not sure yet, resurrect a dead person and give them Kryptonian-esque powers. Now, we've seen a lot of different kryptonites in the comics. I don't believe, from what I remember, we've seen yellow. I think this is X-kryptonite. We have seen gold, but that gives a whole different set of powers. So that's a big deal. They're going to start using people. And that's exactly what we've seen. Now, the next episode starts off with a Smallville harvest. Gives you this really old, gives you this really small community type feel. It's a big deal. We see Clark geek out. It's super cute. He's super excited for this harvest. It means a lot to him. And we get a lot of flashbacks in this episode to his childhood with his mother, who did everything she could after his father died to raise him the right way. We see an amazing vigilante moment by him. We see, a really sad moment when he goes off to Metropolis. Her eyes, her sadness, her guilt. It's beautiful. It really, really is. So We also see the character Derek return. Now, this was, if you remember in previous episodes, we had a mother that was looking for her son. Well, the son has returned. So he goes to the donations at the harvest and loses control and starts with the heat vision. The building burns. It becomes a big deal. And we see Lois's friend from the Smallville Gazette start to track him. And that's where we find out that they are using yellow kryptonite to make metahumans or Kryptonian-esque humans. My best guess is metahumans, but he has very similar power set compared to Clark. Now, we do see this man die very quickly, and he says, I was already dead. So I'm not sure where we're leading to, if we're leading to they can resurrect people, or if it just, something happens and he is given powers as, a living being. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But we do see Captain Luthor return in this episode, taking a interest in Lois, quite an interest. And come to find out that on his Earth, he was married to Lois Lane. We get a cute romantic scene and you see the pain in Luthor's eyes. And I really, really like that this was added. It gives a whole nother layer of confrontation. And basically, we're going to see where this leads to. Now, of course, he sees Lois with Clark, not knowing that that is Superman. But I think eventually he just may. Every single time I see this Luthor, I think of Seal and start having in my head a kiss from a rose. I fucking love that song. Thank you, Luthor. Now I'm going to listen to it weekly. Anyways, then we see Clark versus Derek. He dies and we get a little send off of Jonathan going up against Tag, or Jordan, going up against Tag. Tag said, you did this to me, and that's it. So we've got a cliffhanger. But overall, this is a show maybe before the 18th you should be watching. This is a show that feels like Superman. Now, there is added layers of family and other, teen drama in there, but it's all in good jest. It's all really well done. And I'm actually really, really enjoying this show. I'm glad it's doing well. I'm glad we're seeing a great version of Superman, a real version of Superman. Definitely worth it. Anyways, let me know, of course, what you guys think about this show. If you're enjoying it, if you're watching it. Either way, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.